Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Hello. This is the video for May 24th, and I've titled it The Ambassador and the Red Dragon. I have mentioned several times in recent videos about my conversations with a man who identifies himself as the ambassador of the Dragon family, or Council of Elders. He has shared many things about his life experiences with me, but I have never seen him. We have talked about setting up a private video call to include him, his contact, my lady friend, and me. Take a letter out. But it hasn't happened yet. In yesterday's video, I should have put Red Dragon in the title, but because of the flow in my life, I had to come up with a quick title to start the long saving process before I had even listened to the recording. Anyway, I want to address those who have indicated that their take on this mysterious personage may be the devil or an evil spirit. Unlike others, I believe all created beings are redeemable. I don't know how many conversations I've had now with the ambassador. I think somewhere probably around 7. He probably was trying to call me last night, but I was on an in-depth call with my friend, and I didn't want that call interrupted. So 3 times somebody tried to get through, and I did not. I don't have the caller ID doesn't work on my phone. I mean, I can't tell who's making the call. So anyway, I did not answer the phone. I did send them an email this morning and indicate that if it was them, I apologize, but I'm not going to interrupt what I call a really, really important conversation, which my friend and I were having, to answer somebody else's call. The one that I'm with is more important than someone that may be trying to reach me on the phone. In any case, I have found this man very fascinating, very knowledgeable. He told me some things that I didn't know he had any way of knowing, which I found quite fascinating. He's obviously knowledgeable about Swiss Indo, knowledgeable about Mr. Sugi, knowledgeable about many things that are happening in the world. He does not hold Karen Hudas, for example, in high esteem. He does not hold Benjamin Fulford in high esteem, although he says probably about, if I remember the ratio right, he said about 70% of what Benjamin reveals is the truth, and 30% of it is misinformation or disinformation. And of course, he's familiar with all of the normal players in this whole drama of the collateral accounts and everything else. And from his point of view, it's the Dragon family that actually has control, and they're the ones that appoint M1s and whoever is the controller of the currency. And that's not a position, that's a fluid position. It doesn't stay the same. Benjamin Fulford, for example, has suggested that they make the Pope Francis the M1, which of course the ambassador thinks is total nonsense. And I agree. I mean, here's a man that's the first time ever we have a black pope and a white pope in the same individual. Now, for those of you that don't know what a black pope is, it has nothing to do with race or color of skin or anything like that. It has to do with the head of the Jesuits, which is the black operative organization within the Vatican realm. They're the ones that pull all the military stuff is handled by the Vatican, and they are usually subversive influences wherever they spread their tentacles. Although Anthony de Mello and other Jesuits have also made a positive contribution. So who's to say that anything is all bad or all good? I mean, everything is a mixture of the opposites. Even the yin-yang symbol, you have the light in the darkness, and you have a little bit of darkness in the light. And that's the reality of our world. That's the dance between the poles, between the opposites. They're two sides of the same coin, and they're made to dance with each other. And when they duel, it's not a duel of trying to kill or destroy the opponent. Rather, it's a duel to sharpen each other's wits and tend to expand each other's consciousness so that you become aware of greater things. That's a kind of duality that is advantageous because it gives us the perspective of contrast, so that we can develop wisdom, so that we can become more complete, more whole beings as physical manifestations of a spiritual reality. Now, the red dragon, as Aristo said, represents the void, the womb, it represents the woman, it represents passion, and there's unlimited potential in that. Some may also, and some did, identify it as the devil, or I don't know that anybody said Lucifer. But I had an experience once, and I shared this in one or more of my other videos over the past 3.5 years or whatever it's been, where Michael and Lucifer appeared to me in a vision, dream, visualization, whatever you want to call the experience, and they were both they laid down their swords, and all three of us, myself included, were weeping because the enmity had come to an end. Now, some people, including my friend, does not believe that, for example, jinn and demons are redeemable, that they have no souls, that their whole purpose is to create evil, to create darkness. Now, in regard to the ambassador, I sometimes have gotten the idea, although I don't think I've asked him that yet directly. Is he the one that wrote the hidden hand material that answered? And I think he might be, although I don't know that for a fact. That's just a guess on my part. But the hidden hand material does reveal that the job of the Illuminati, if you will, is to be 97% evil. They purposefully bred their family, breed their children to not have compassion, to not have empathy, to not have a conscience like the rest of creation does. Now, I don't believe any creation can be separate from God, number one. If that's true, then God isn't God. Then there is no, or said another way, maybe there is no God. If anything can be separate from it, because God is the only, to me, the only substance, the only energy, the only thing or no thing that exists in all of the cosmos. And everything that is created has to be made from what is, which is the divine essence. Whether it's light or dark, masculine or feminine, positive or negative, good or evil. And again, I believe that evil exists, but I don't believe it's an eternal thing. I believe it's a temporary thing. Some people will disagree with me on that. They see that evil is something that is absolutely necessary in order for free will and in order for growth. Well, I do believe free will allows people to make mistakes, allows people to learn from those mistakes, but I don't believe that that this is evil. This is just a process of learning, a process of experiencing life without being controlled. But I do believe that there are eternal laws that are in place and eternal realities, and one of the eternal realities is that everything that we see consists of that which we don't see, and that which we don't see ultimately comes back to one source, to one field. There's not a permanent duality, or said another way, there's not a permanent polarization of opposites where there's constant conflict. Opposites don't have to be in conflict with each other. In fact, they are designed to dance. They are designed to love. They are designed to complement each other. As a true relationship should be a complementary relationship between the individuals involved. And there should be always complete honesty, always complete vulnerability and willingness to love the other person as they are, because the only way we can love anyone to wholeness is by accepting them exactly where they are. And I accept the ambassador and his friend, that his friend is always the one that contacts me and says, I have the ambassador on the line. And then the ambassador and I talk, and the friend doesn't join in except on rare occasion. It's mostly a conversation between the ambassador and myself. And he wants me to meet, and he says that the Dragon family wants me to go to China and wants to meet me. They want to meet my friend. They do believe that we are in a position, that we have been chosen, if you will, and that's not to set us apart from anybody else. We're chosen because we are willing to go where few people have gone before. We're willing to step outside of our own comfort zone and explore things and scale the heights and plumb the depths of our own existence, and to know ourselves completely, the positive and the negative, the good things and the things that we tend to label not so good, and things we tend to judge. We're willing to go into this element, into this abyss, if you will, and bring healing to ourselves so that we can ultimately have the ripple effect take place, or the 100th monkey thing take place, where the healing spreads to others. Now, when we look at, as she and I talk and we look at the world around us, most people are still not awake. They're not aware of what's going on in the world. They're not aware of who they are. They don't recognize any higher connection. And we agree that where there is ignorance, where there is not knowledge, there is not free will. You are driven, we are all driven by our unconscious. And the unconscious plays the biggest role in creating our reality. Because from the unconscious level, the light that's, I believe, is in everything, in all of creation, whether we label it good or evil, whether we label it demon or angel, whatever we label these things, there is an essence that's in everything that draws back to God, back to prime creator or source. And this is a process that I believe is being accelerated in our generation, as more and more people are being given the opportunity and becoming awake to the opportunity that we can make a change, we can make a difference. And that's what my friend and I do, and I believe that's, the ambassador has convinced me that that's what people in the Dragon Society want to do, or the Dragon family and the Council of Elders, that they see the handwriting on the wall. They know that the time of the completion of this evolutionary phase has reached its virtual climax, and we're about to enter into a new renaissance, a new age of awakening, a new age of enlightenment. And I don't know if it's going to return back to another dark age, but we're on the threshold of the golden age. And there are a lot of things that are going to happen in the golden age that are going to be dramatically different from what we've experienced before. Now, in the area of relationships, which is such a challenge for so many people, there's still going to be people that choose to be in monogamous one-on-one relationships. And in some respects, I think that is an ideal. It's an ideal that I've held much of my life. And right now I'm in a one-on-one relationship, except my partner is not in a one-on-one relationship. She has a husband whom she cares about and loves, and she has a family, and she cares about her family and loves her family. And as I watch her interact with other people at church and in meetings that we've been to together, and when we've gone out for social events, I mean, her heart is so open. But what I'm trying to portray to you is that we don't have all the answers. We don't see all of the things that are going on behind the scenes. I do believe that even people in the Illuminati, many of them are starting to wake up. Now, that may seem like it's an impossible thing, and some people believe, again, these dark entities have no soul, therefore they cannot wake up. How can anything not have a soul? I mean, soul, to me, is simply the essence of creation, or the essence of creator in creation. And it exists in everything, not leaving anything out. There is no separation. If you have beings that cannot be redeemed, then there is separation. And separation to me is the only illusion that is a real illusion. Nothing in our physical experience is an illusion. It's a real experience. Even if we define it differently, and whatever we define it as, whatever story we tell about it, it's still our experience. And my friend is trying to get me to rewrite some of my stories so that I don't get caught in this repeating loop of recycling the same old story and the same old creations over and over again. And that's something that I have to learn. And I'm challenging her to embrace things that she's considered negative, that she's tended to want to deny or not embrace quite so readily. And again, she would explain what I'm saying now differently than I would, because she's a different person with a different set of experiences and a different set of filters. And that's part of the dynamic between us, that we are able to bring our own experience, our own belief systems, our own everything into the thing, and we're totally open in dialoguing with each other. And that's the kind of thing that I'm experiencing with the ambassador. And if I get to meet the dragon family, I'm hoping that experience will resonate in there. It's a kind of relationship I have with Aristo and Margie and some of my other friends, that I'm able to meet them at a level and talk openly. And I appreciate friendships like that. And I appreciate in my lady's friends thing, she is not putting any limitation on it. I mean, it can go wherever it needs to go. And we're exploring. We don't know what that's going to look like yet. We don't know what it's going to be. We're in the process simply of exploring and wondering out loud and experimenting with ideas pretty much right now. And eventually we'll be experimenting with other things. But the point is, whether the red dragon is seen as something that has played a dark role or an evil role, well, okay. We all play roles, and I believe all entities are here to play roles. And I don't believe any entity is all bad, and I don't believe any entity is all good. Not myself, not anybody. I mean, we try to do the best we can, but we play roles, and we don't always have all the facets of the picture in place so that we can see all the angles. We can only see from where we are in our current experience, and we look at that, and then we have other experiences, and each new experience gives us another perspective that we can view this thing as. But I'm trying my best to live as openly and non-judgmentally as possible, because that's what I want for me. That's the kind of energy that I'm giving myself. I'm letting go of my concepts of relationship and my concepts of even sexual morality to a point. I mean, I'm not going to get to the place where I'm going to have sex with anybody that comes along, and God forbid, I wouldn't want that. That would be so overwhelming, it would probably destroy me. And I think it would destroy most anybody. But I want to be willing. I realize that I can probably love more than one person, including sexually. I've never experienced that. I may never experience it. I don't know. The point is, I'm willing. I'm willing to explore, and I'm encouraging each of you to be willing to explore, and most importantly, to tell yourself the truth. Don't hide things under some cloak of respectability or some self-righteous mask that you put on that makes you appear a certain way, and you can't be the other way too. I am the paradox man, and I embrace the diversity and the paradox within myself, because I know that ultimately I'm called to fly, I'm called to soar, and I believe each one of us is. And I ask you to be willing to perhaps soar with me at whatever level you can, so that we can all soar together and rise up together into a newness that is beyond all of the labels and the judgments and the expectations of what things are supposed to be or not supposed to be. Let's be open to the possibility that everything is lovable, and everything and everyone can be redeemed, for we are all part of one creation and one singular web of life. I leave you with these thoughts, and thank you for listening. Namaste.